Fear. It's a word that resonates deep within every one of us, often dictating the paths we take, the decisions we make, and the opportunities we let slip away. Picture this. You're standing in front of a crowd, the spotlight glaring, your heart pounding so loudly you can barely hear the applause. Your hands tremble, your breath shortens, and every instinct screams at you to run. That moment, suspended between action and retreat, is where most people falter. In fact, studies show that 90% of us miss out on life-changing opportunities simply because of one thing: fear. Fear of failure. Fear of being judged. Fear of not being enough. But imagine, for a moment, what your life could look like if you didn't let fear call the shots. What if you could take that anxiety, that hesitation, and transform it into a powerful source of confidence? What if fear became the very engine driving your courage, your growth, your success? Today, I want to share 5 powerful secrets that can help you overcome fear and build unstoppable confidence. Tools that have helped countless people step into their true potential. Before we dive in, let me welcome you. My name is Viatan, and this is Bold Ascent. If you've ever felt stuck, paralyzed by fear, or convinced you weren't capable of achieving your dreams, know that you're not alone. This message is for you, and if you stay with me until the end, you'll discover practical strategies that can transform the way you see yourself forever. And if you find this message valuable, don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring content every single week. Let's begin with the first secret. Identify your fear. You cannot defeat an enemy you refuse to name. Fear thrives in the shadows, unspoken, unacknowledged, allowed to grow unchecked. The first step to overcoming it is simple, but profound. Write down exactly what you're afraid of. Grab a journal, a scrap of paper, or even your phone, and put your fears into words. Maybe it's the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, or the fear of not living up to expectations. The moment you put it down on paper, your fear stops being a vague, looming shadow and starts becoming something concrete, something you can confront. Think about it. When you name your fear, you take away its power. It's no longer an invisible force controlling you from behind the scenes. It becomes a challenge, a puzzle to solve. For example, if you write down, "I'm afraid of failing at my job interview," you now have a starting point. You can analyze it, break it apart, and figure out what exactly is making you anxious. Is it a lack of preparation? Is it fear of public speaking? Is it worry that you'll let someone down? The act of naming your fear is the first step towards mastery. Now let's move to secret 2. Break it down. Once you've identified your fear, it's time to dissect it. Ask yourself, what's the worst that could really happen? Often, we build our fears up into towering monsters, far larger and more terrifying than reality justifies. Pause and challenge those assumptions. If your fear is failing a test, what's the actual consequence? Will you have to retake it? Will it set you back a little? Or if you're afraid of being rejected, what's the outcome? Some discomfort, maybe embarrassment, but does it truly threaten your happiness or safety? Most of the time, the worst-case scenarios we imagine are exaggerated. Life, as it turns out, goes on. We recover, we adjust, and we learn. By breaking down your fear into its real-world consequences, you shrink it from a giant to something manageable. The process helps you realize that, while failure or rejection might sting, they're rarely as catastrophic as we imagine. And knowing that reality isn't nearly as scary as your mind makes it out to be is incredibly liberating. Secret 3. Take small steps. Confidence isn't built overnight, and you don't have to face your biggest fear all at once. Instead, start small. If you're terrified of public speaking, don't force yourself to address a crowd of hundreds right away. Begin with 3 people, a few friends perhaps, then expand to 10, maybe a small group at work. Gradually, you increase the number, each time building a little more courage, a little more confidence. Every step you take is like laying a brick in the wall of your self-assurance. Think of it as progressive exposure. By challenging yourself in manageable increments, You prove to yourself that you can handle discomfort, that you can survive and even thrive in situations that once filled you with dread. Each small victory compounds, turning fear into familiarity and hesitation into action. The process is not about eliminating fear, but about learning to move forward in spite of it. And with every step, you get stronger. Secret 4, lean on support. No one should have to face fear alone. Talk to friends, mentors, or loved ones about what scares you. Sometimes, all it takes is a single encouraging voice to shift your perspective entirely. Sharing your fears with someone you trust breaks the isolation that fear often creates. It allows you to hear new viewpoints, receive advice, and gain reassurance that you're not alone in your struggle. Support can come in many forms: a pep talk from a close friend, guidance from a mentor, or even a community of people going through similar experiences. Sometimes, just knowing others have faced and conquered the same fears gives you the courage to try. And when you stumble, that support can help you get back up, remind you of your strengths, and encourage you to keep moving forward. Never underestimate the power of a helping hand or a kind word. Secret 5, reframe and reflect. After every attempt, take a moment to reflect. Ask yourself, did this fear really harm me? Or did it make me stronger? This step is crucial because every time you face your fear and survive, you gain wisdom. You learn that discomfort is temporary, that you're more resilient than you thought, and that growth often comes from stepping outside your comfort zone. Reframing your experiences turns fear into fuel. Instead of seeing each challenge as a threat, you begin to view it as an opportunity, a chance to learn, to grow, to evolve. When you look back at your journal notes, see the progress you've made, and smile with pride at your growth, you realize that fear isn't your enemy. It's a teacher, guiding you towards greater strength and self-awareness. Let's pause for a moment to consider the journey you've taken so far. You've learned how to identify your fear, break it down into manageable pieces, take small but meaningful steps, lean on the support of others, and reflect to gain wisdom. These 5 secrets are not just strategies, they're a blueprint for transformation. They show that fear never entirely disappears, but once you learn to control it, it becomes the fuel that drives your courage. And when you reach that point, no challenge, no setback, and no obstacle will ever be able to stop you. Confidence isn't about never feeling afraid. It's about moving forward even when you do. It's about standing tall, owning your space, and knowing that every step you take, no matter how small, is a victory. The most successful, fulfilled people in the world aren't those who never face fear. They're the ones who choose to act in spite of it. They're the ones who see fear as a sign that they're about to grow, about to learn, about to do something truly meaningful. So, let me ask you, which fear have you overcome in your life? Maybe it was speaking up in a meeting, starting a new job, pursuing a dream, or simply saying what you truly feel. Every story matters, and your journey could be the inspiration someone else needs to begin their own. Share your experience in the comments below. Your courage might light the way for someone who's struggling right now. If you found these 5 secrets valuable, I invite you to hit like, subscribe, and share this message with a friend who needs a little extra courage today. Remember, you hold the power to transform your life. Fear is not the end. It's the beginning of a new chapter. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you in the next message, where we'll continue to unlock new strategies for living boldly, confidently, and with unstoppable courage. And as the music rises and the energy builds, take one last moment to feel the strength inside you. Every time you face a fear, every time you choose to act, you're writing a new story, one of resilience, confidence, and endless possibility. So step into the light, stand tall. The world is waiting for the best version of you.